Here you go. Take a bite.
The streets of New Harbor hadn't seen rain in 3 weeks. Dust clung to every corner, every forgotten alley, every place the city forgot to clean. Marcus had been searching for scrap metal near the old district when he heard it. A sound so soft, so fragile, it was almost swallowed by the rumble of hovercars overhead. A whimper. Child's whimper. He shouldn't have stopped. In 2087, stopping for strangers was dangerous. But something in his chest pulled him toward that sound like an invisible rope. Marcus pushed through the rusted barriers of an abandoned warehouse, his footsteps echoing in the hollow darkness. That's when he saw her. She was huddled in the corner, partly hidden by shadows, her skin an ethereal pale green that seemed to glow faintly in the dim light. Her hair was a burning auburn, matted and tangled, and her eyes, her enormous amber eyes, looked up at him with a mixture of terror and something else. Hunger. Deep, bone-crushing hunger. Marcus froze. She wasn't human. The pointed ears, the delicate features, the way her ribs protruded sharply through her thin tunic. She was an alien. A Valorian, if his memory served him right. They were rare on Earth, protected by law, but also feared. Hunted sometimes. Experimented on. "Don't be afraid," Marcus whispered, doing what he'd seen in old movies. He raised his empty hands. The girl flinched, pulling tighter into herself. Her luminous eyes never left his. Marcus realized she was trembling, not from fear but from something worse. Desperation. Illness. Starvation. Without thinking much about it, Marcus removed his jacket and sat down slowly, about 10 feet away from her. He reached into his pack and pulled out a thermal meal, one of the expensive protein bars he'd been saving for 3 days. The packaging crinkled loudly in the silence. The girl's eyes followed every movement. "You hungry?" he asked gently, opening the bar. The aroma filled the small space. Artificial chicken, but to someone starving it probably smelled like paradise. She didn't respond, but her jaw trembled. Marcus broke off a piece and tossed it gently toward her. It landed between them. For a moment nothing happened. Then, with movements so careful they seemed rehearsed, the girl reached out and picked up the piece. She stared at it like it was the most precious thing in the world. Then she ate it. The effect was immediate. Her eyes widened. A tear rolled down her pale cheek. She looked at Marcus, and in that single moment, something shifted in the universe. It was the look of someone who hadn't tasted kindness in so long they'd forgotten what it felt like. It was gratitude so profound it hurt to witness. "There's more," Marcus said, breaking off another piece. Over the next hour, Marcus fed her the entire bar, piece by piece. She ate slowly, savoring each morsel. With every bite, she seemed to come back to life. Color crept into her cheeks. Her breathing steadied. Her enormous eyes became clearer, sharper, more aware. When the bar was finished, she did something that stopped Marcus's heart. She reached out and touched his hand. Her fingers were impossibly delicate, her skin cool and smooth. She traced the lines on his palm like she was reading his entire history, his entire soul. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice like bells made of starlight. "What's your name?" Marcus asked. "Lyra," she said simply. "I crashed 3 days ago. The others, they didn't make it. I've been." She couldn't finish the sentence. Marcus understood. He stood up slowly, his knees protesting. "Come on. We need to get you to safety. To proper food. Medical care." Lyra hesitated, but then her hand found his again. She stood up shakily, and Marcus caught her as her legs nearly gave out. She was impossibly light, fragile as a bird made of glass and hope. They walked through the streets together as evening descended, painting the sky in shades of purple and gold. People stared. Some pointed. One woman whispered into her communication device, probably calling the authorities. But Marcus didn't care. He'd made a choice, and choices like this, the ones that split your life into before and after, those were the ones that mattered. By the time they reached Marcus's small apartment, Lyra was walking stronger. He prepared real food. Warm soup, fresh bread, vegetables. She ate like someone who'd learned that meals might be rare, taking tiny, careful bites. But her eyes never left his. After she'd eaten, they sat by the window watching the city lights flicker on like terrestrial stars. "Why did you help me?" Lyra asked. "You don't know me. I'm not even human." Marcus thought about it. He thought about his lonely life, his search through garbage for scraps, his nights wondering if anything he did mattered in this vast, uncaring world. "Because," he said finally, "you deserve to eat." And that was enough. Lyra looked at him then, truly looked at him, with an intensity that made him feel seen in a way he'd never experienced before. It was the look of someone saying, "You are good. You matter. You changed everything." Over the following weeks, Marcus helped Lyra. He contacted the embassy. He fought with officials and corporations that wanted to study her. He gave her a place in his life that had only ever been empty before. And Lyra taught him something he'd forgotten, that compassion still existed in a dying world. That kindness could be revolutionary. One evening, as she was preparing to leave with a diplomatic team, returning to her people, Lyra held Marcus's face between her delicate hands. "I will never forget," she said, "that moment when you gave me the food. That was the moment I knew that something good lived in this universe." Marcus smiled, tears streaming down his face. "Safe travels, Lyra." As he watched her ship rise into the darkening sky, Marcus understood something profound. You don't have to change the world. Sometimes saving just one person is enough. It's everything.